FPL TV has very proudly been nominated as Best Fantasy Football Creator at this year's Football Blogging Awards. There's some amazing creators up for the award, but if you think that this channel deserves to win, then please vote for me by clicking the link in the description, selecting FPL TV in the drop-down menu, and then hitting Vote Now. Thank you so much as always for your support. Warning, this video contains team selection and captain choices which some viewers may find offensive. Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL TV. Before discussing double game week 35, let's quickly see how my team performed in game week 34 with the wildcard active. It was mixed emotions from defence. The plus side was I opted for two Spurs defenders, with Hugo Lloris in goal getting a clean sheet, as did my punt on Kyle Walker-Peters, who also picked up an extra bonus point for his efforts. The negative though was my double Brighton defence, who had what looked to be two excellent home fixtures, which they then flopped in dramatically, conceding 7 goals and returning just the 1 point apiece over 2 games. Disaster. It was much more consistent in midfield though, with Kevin De Bruyne making an instant impact, and my decision to go for both Mo Salah and Sadio Mane paid off for now, with each of them getting on the scoresheet. Unfortunately, my captain choice last week wasn't great, with Son being rested against Huddersfield, although an assist very late on returned 8 points, which ended up being much better than other popular captain picks like Shane Duffy and Jamie Vardy, so not too bad. Up front, however, was an absolute train wreck. 3 players, £22 million spent, and a net total of 1 shocking point between them. Watford's Troy Deeney was the villain of the game week, facing an Arsenal side who were yet to keep an away clean sheet all season, and he got sent off within 12 minutes. Cojones. This sending off spells double disaster for me, as he's now facing suspension for Watford's double game week in 35. So, for game week 34, a total tally of 52 last week, 2 points below the average. Considering I'm on a wild card, I have to see this as a pretty big fail, but this squad was always set up with double game week 35 in mind, so hopefully the team can make amends then. The good news is I've essentially held my rank this week, dropping a very small 200 places and staying around the 24,000 mark, with the top 20k still within reach. With that out of the way, let's move on to double game week 35 now, and check out my team selection and potential transfers for the upcoming weekend. And as always, if you enjoy the content here, then don't forget to drop a like on the video, and most importantly, get subscribed to FPL TV. So initially, the intention was to line up my side like this for game week 35. The transfer plan was then to switch out Kyle Walker-Peters for Southampton's Jan Valery in one free transfer, and then activate the bench boost chip to bring all of my squad into play. However, looking at my bench now, that plan could be out of the window, and this is due to Brighton's horrific performance in the previous game week, and also down to Troy Deeney being suspended. So as things stand, my bench boost is looking very weak at the moment. The first option for me could be to simply forget the bench boost chip this week and save it for one of the other remaining game weeks. This option would give me the luxury of saving a transfer and would allow me to focus on getting in some Man City players from game week 36 onwards, now that they're out of the Champions League. With game week 35 being the only remaining double game week though, of course the temptation is still there to utilise the bench boost chip now, so here's a few potential transfer ins and outs I could do before the deadline. With Troy Deeney being suspended, if I decide to get rid, Callum Wilson is once again a very tempting option, as he always is after a very big score. Getting Wilson always has the potential to be a trap, but he does face Fulham at home, a very nice fixture on paper. Making this move wouldn't be straightforward though, as I'd have to free up some cash, therefore Shane Duffy would have to make way. Southampton's Jan Valery seems to be the obvious budget replacement, as the youngster has a double game week coming up and boasts 2 goals and a clean sheet in his last 5 games. Southampton's fixtures also stay decent for the remainder of the season, so he looks to be a nifty option at 4.1 million. The only other players who are potentially leaving my squad this week are Lewis Dunk and Kyle Walker-Peters, who was initially meant to be a 1-week punt. With Tottenham now progressing in the Champions League though, and with Serge Aurier out injured, perhaps Kyle Walker-Peters could still get some more minutes for Spurs, so I may hold on to him for that reason with some decent fixtures coming up. As for budget defenders coming in, Watford are the only other team I've really considered. The Hornets have a decent looking double game week coming up, including a fixture against Huddersfield, so Craig Cathcart is one on my watch list. With their usual left-back Holebas out injured though, Adam Messina at just 4.3 million may have a chance of playing both of these double game week fixtures, so he's another cheap option I've considered. As things stand, the bench boost has not yet been activated, and here's how my side currently lines up. But be sure as always to check the FPL TV Twitter page shortly before the game week deadline, where I'll post my final team selection then. Captaincy is a very tricky one this week, with so many tempting options. Raul Jimenez looks to be a very sensible choice, with Wolves being the only side in 35 who play both double game week fixtures at home. This includes matches against a struggling Brighton and an Arsenal side who have been very suspect defensively on the road. Notably, in Tottenham's Champions League victory over Man City, Son Heung-min picked up a yellow card, and this means the South Korean is now suspended for the first leg of the semi-final. From an FPL perspective, this could be pivotal, as you'd think now he's a lot less likely to get rotated. And after seeing how he fared at the Etihad the other night, he could be a very good shout, especially if he also gets a start in that home fixture against Brighton. Despite only having a single fixture this week, both Mo Salah and Sadio Mane also have to be in my thoughts. The pair are in exceptional form of late and now face Cardiff, the league's third worst defence. The Bluebirds will no doubt be scrapping for their survival, but Salah in particular is looking very sharp at the moment. So that's all my team considerations for Game Week 35. Unfortunately, not a very definitive video today, as there's still much to decide, but hopefully it gives you an idea of what moves I could make, and you can then see the final team over on Twitter shortly before the game week deadline. Good luck to all of you watching for Game Week 35, FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all very soon.